It's game 2 from Strasburg between the Beet Diggers and Strasburg Indians. The Beet Diggers won game 1 by a score of 7-5. John Beltran back with you. Our sound engineer and producer is Emily Hernandez, doing a fine job back at the station. And here is Justin Griffith to lead off game 2. Beet Diggers starting lineup brought to you by Equitable Savings and Loan. Proud to be Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan. With multiple locations, Equitable Savings and Loan. Batting first is the center fielder Justin Griffith. Carson Rule, the right fielder, at second. The second baseman Caleb Cox bats third. The cleanup hitters, the third baseman Gunnar Guzman. Batting fifth, the left fielder Jade Queen. The shortstop Nick Wellen at sixth. First baseman Ryan Dunker bats seventh. Ben Garrett, the pitcher, at eighth. And Colin Cole behind the plate will be batting ninth at a stiff wind here to begin the game. I mean, real stiff. Mitchell Davis out of the stretch. And the pitch is down and in. 1 ball, no strikes. Blake Swanson at first. The second baseman is Thomas Elpers. Alvarado at third. The shortstop is Carson Spence. 1-0 pitch. And that's a strike down the middle at the knees. It's 1-1. In left field, it's Jonathan Hart. The center fielder is Andrew Devlin. Brady Johnson in right. John Walters also behind the plate for a second straight game. And the breaking ball's down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, we'll see if this wind cooperates. I'm getting my mouth even closer to the microphone just so it actually sounds like the wind is not talking. Swung on and popped down the left field line and out of play. And the count moves at 2-2 here to Justin Griffith. Griffith in game 1 was 1 for 4. And he scored a run. The Beet Diggers won that 7-5. Never trailed in the game. Led 4-0. It was 4-3, 7-3. Then won 7-5. Caleb Cox had a home run, and Nick Wellen had 3 RBIs. The pitch swung on and drilled in the air towards left field. And making the play on the line is Jonathan Hart. But that thing was a line shot. But Hart was positioned perfectly for the out. 1 down for Carson Rule. Rule was 0 for 4 in the opening game. Had a couple of strikeouts, so he's looking to get back on track here in game 2. Here is the stretch. And the offering. And the breaking ball is low. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, pretty well played game in game 1. The Indians kept fighting back when the Beet Diggers took multiple run leads, and that bounces in. 2 balls and no strikes. And of course, after today, the Beet Diggers have 3 games to close out the regular season. 2 of those at home and 1 on the road on Thursday at University, which got pounded by Sterling shockingly 12-2. Out of the stretch with the bases empty, 2-0. And that's a strike with a changeup on the outer half, knee high. Ball 2, strike 1. Laying down the side is Walters. And the pitch. And that breaking ball's inside. 3-1. Back to Rule off the plate. 3 balls and 1 strike with the hot-hitting Caleb Cox on deck. And the pitch. And that bounces in and Rule walks. And so, yeah, now we have a discussion here. That's when it gets ugly, when you don't want to debate balls and strikes, and that apparently was happening out of the Strasburg dugout. It's not a good way to endear yourself to the umpire. And it looked like it was clearly a ball on the pitch that was being disputed. Throw back to first, back in standing is Rule. Yeah, the bottom line, unless you're right behind the plate, you don't have the ideal view like the umpire does of the strike zone. Swung on and grounded up the middle, and it's a base hit into right center field. Rule is around second. He's headed towards third. Ball is bobbled in center. But no advance by Cox, and Caleb Cox, who had a sac fly and a home run in the opening game, has a base hit in the first inning of game 2.
Come on, Daniel, can't do that. Here we go.
And here's Gunnar Guzman. Guzman had 2 hits. Celebrating a birthday today, Gunnar 2 out of 3. He had a single and a double in the first game. His batting average approaching the 300 mark. Runners at third with 1 down in the top of the first inning, as the Bee Diggers are threatening to get on the board early. Throw to third, but Rule certainly not falling asleep over there. Back and standing easily. Let's see if the trail runner takes off. That bounces in, blocked by Walters. One ball and no strikes. Stretch by Davis. Short lead at first. Short lead at third. Swung on and popped up along the left field line. A long run into foul territory. And it's off the glove of the left fielder Hart. But it's just a strike there. 1 ball and 1 strike. One and one here to Gunnar Guzman. Back in the box is Double G. Looking to drive in 1, 2, or maybe even 3. Throw back to first, and Cox back in standing. The Bee Diggers are not going to fall for that. They've seen that before from other teams, where you try to get the trail runner or you throw to third, and they're pretty alert on the base paths. Guzman awaits the 1-1 pitch. Here it is, and the breaking ball is upstairs. Ball 2, strike 1. To the senior third baseman, Gunnar Guzman. At the belt is Davis. And the pitch swung on and drifted foul down the right side. Well, he hit it a long way, but it is foul, and it's 2-2. Here to Gunnar Guzman. With Rule at third, he walked. Cox at first got a base hit. Short leads at the corners. The stretch and the pitch. Breaking ball is tapped slowly on the ground towards the pitcher, and there's going to be a play to first. Runner has to hold up at third, and Davis throws out Guzman. Advancing to second is Cox. 2 down with 2 runners in scoring position. And Jade Queen will now bat. Jade Queen was 1 for 2 in the first game. His base hit came in his final at bat. Pitch from Davis. Swung on and fouled off to the right. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Jade Queen. Opening pitch of Game 2 brought to you by Buildings by Design. The experience to complete your project from start to finish. Get the quality you deserve in your building by starting the build project right. That is Buildings by Design. And the pitch. And the breaking ball bounces in. Walters again. Man, this guy knows how to play catcher. I mean, those in the dirt. The only thing he's got to work on, obviously, is those pop fouls that he struggled with in the first game. But he's blocking a lot of those balls. 1 ball and 1 strike. And the pitch. And the changeup is a strike at the knees on the outer half. And it's 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a stiff wind. Runners at second and third. The offering upstairs with a fastball. Ball 2, strike 2 to Jade Queen. Roll at third. Cox at second. The stretch by Mitchell Davis. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him on a changeup. And the Bead Diggers are denied in the top of the first inning. No runs on one hit, no errors, and 2 men left in scoring position. Let's head to the bottom of the first inning. The Bead Diggers do not score in game 2. Strasburg is coming to bat on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. All right, here's the starting lineup for the Strasburg Indians. Batting first is the pitcher Mitchell Davis. Daniel Alvarado, the third baseman, a left-handed third baseman, hits second. Blake Swanson at first bats third. The cleanup hitter is the shortstop Carson Spence. Batting fifth is the second baseman Thomas Elpers. The right fielder Brady Johnson hits sixth. Andrew Devlin, the center fielder, bats seventh. Batting eighth, the designated hitter Ashton Hounshall. And the catcher John Walters bats ninth. The Bead Diggers defensively have Ryan Dunker at first, Caleb Cox at second. The third baseman is Gunnar Guzman. In between him at short is Nick Wellen. Around the outfield, Jade Queen in left, Justin Griffith in center, Carson Rules in right. Behind the plate is Colin Cole and Ben Garrett, a sophomore. Right-hander is on the mound for the Bead Diggers. His first varsity start. He pitched into the 7th inning and defeated Fort Morgan 7-5. Line and pitch to the opposing pitcher. Fastball for a strike, thigh high. And it's 0-1. Garrett will check his numbers here momentarily. The pitch down and away with a heater. One ball, one strike. And the offering. And it bounces that one to the screen. Two balls and one strike. Garrett is 2-1 with a 3.21 ERA. And he's pretty much a strike thrower. Pitch. That is outside with a fastball. Ball three, strike one here to Mitchell Davis. The Bead Diggers won the opening game 7-5. And the pitch. And he threw that one in the dirt. Garrett just lost it on those last 4 pitches, but again, first inning is always the most challenging inning for pitchers because they're still not in a rhythm. Here's Daniel Alvarado. Alvarado was 0 for 3 in the opening game. 3-step lead at first, a stretch by Garrett. Throw back to first. He's got a good move over there, back in diving. Is Davis. Strasburg stole quite a few bases in game 1. Garrett has a little bit of a quicker delivery to the plate than Dunker. And the pitch. Up and away. That's 5 consecutive pitches out of the zone. 1 ball and no strikes. Two-step lead. And the offering. That's a strike with a changeup on the outer half thigh high, and the count is level at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on. No score, bottom of the first inning in game 2. Brush won the first game 7-5. And the pitch runner goes, taken for a strike. Throw to second, it's right there, the tag. And it is Davis. The tag was applied by Nick Wellen. A perfect throw. A perfect throw from Colin Cole, and there's 1 down. And it should be a 1 ball, 2 strike count. It is. And Garrett delivers. Swung on, that is popped up to the shortstop, Nick Wellen. He locates it, and he makes the catch for the second out. Boy, that wind is playing tricks with the baseball. But Wellen was able to make the play. Played some solid short today.
Come on, Blake, let's go. Get it started.
Hey, look back, huh? Step forward. Here we go. Towards him.
2 down for Blake Swanson. Swanson had a double in game 1 and 4 at bats, and he takes a pitch outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Official start time, the game 1:16. And the 1-0. That's up and away. 2 balls and no strikes.
Smart, he's struggling to find it. Here, be smart.
With 2 down and the bases empty in the bottom of the first inning. No score. And Garrett fires. Swung on and popped up in a shallow right field. Carson Rule coming on, still coming. It's going to drop for a base hit as Cox gave chase as well. Little Texas leaguer. And that's the first hit of the game for Strasburg. And here is Carson Spence. Spence was 0 for 3 in game 1. And that ball was hit off the end of the bat by Swanson, but it found a hole. 2-step lead. And the pitch. And that's off the glove of Cole to the screen. And that'll be a passed ball. And I think Cole was crossed up. Yeah, I think Cole was definitely crossed up there, which is why he's going to take a visit to the mound. I think he was anticipating a different pitch, because normally a catcher as good and experienced as that doesn't miss that type of ball. So he's had a conversation with Garrett. 1 ball and no strikes. Swanson at second.
He could use one of those.
Here in the bottom of the first inning.
One of those scooter things.
The stretch. And the pitch. Way outside. It is 2-0. 2-0 to Carson Spence. Garrett looks back, delivers, swung on and popped foul and had a play off to the right. Ball 2, strike 1. The Beat Diggers are looking for the sweep of the doubleheader. Looking back to pitch, low with a changeup. Garrett has thrown only 6 strikes in the inning, but he's recorded 2 outs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Off of second is Swanson. Spence awaits the pitch, and he swings and fouls it off to the right and out of play. Count now at 2-2. On a nice day for baseball, breeze could be maybe a little bit less aggressive, but you can't be greedy. Not in Colorado. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and grounded left side. Gunnar Guzman plays it off his body, picks it up, throws to first, and then throws it away down the line. And a run will score as Swanson crosses home plate. Guzman with the error, and it's 1-0. The runner did not advance past first for some reason, but it's 1-0. Strasburg on the air by Guzman at third. And it'll be Thomas Elpers. Yeah, it looked like Gunnar got a little bit too panicky there. The ball was hit to his left, and it just played it off his glove and might have got part of his body. The stretch. Runner stays, swing and a miss.
Forward, Thomas, forward.
Come on, Thomas.
On a pitch up and in, no balls and 1 strike.
Get that elbow to the ball. Let's go.
Thomas Elpers was 0 for 4 in the first game. And the offering up and away with a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's an unearned run allowed by Garrett here in the first inning. Hefty lead over there by Spence, about a 3.5 step lead. He stays. Fastball is high.
Carson, he's struggling to get strikes.
2 balls and 1 strike.
Walk the strikes now. Let's go.
2-1 to Thomas Elpers. And the pitch swung on and grounded to third. And this time Guzman plays it again off his glove. And he's frustrated with himself. Now runners at first and second. He's very frustrated. He demonstratively spun in the air and was very mad at himself. The inning continues. Second straight error by Guzman at third.
Come on, B.
Here's Brady. He's pounding his glove. He's not happy with himself. I mean, Gunnar demands a lot of himself, and he doesn't want to let his teammates down. Swung on, popped up, should be out of the inning. Nick Wellen in shallow left field going out and makes the catch. And that does end the bottom of the first inning. 1 run, 1 hit, 2 beat digger errors, and 2 men left. To the second we go. In Game 2, Strasburg 1, Brush nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. 1-0 Strasburg as we head to the bottom of the second inning. In Game 2, and the Beat Diggers will lead off with Nick Wellen. He had a huge first game with those 3 RBIs, including a 2-run double. All of a sudden now we got a PA announcer after... We didn't have a PA announcer for 8 innings. Now we got one here. Oh, well. Here's the stretch by Davis and the pitch. Swung on and popped foul and out of play off to the right. Threw him a changeup. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. The stretch and the pitch. Changeup low. 1-1. These are called gusty winds. And the offering. That's a strike with a changeup on the outer half thigh high. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nick Wellen to lead off the second. Strasburg 1, Brush nothing. They scored the run on a beat digger error. Out of the stretch with the bases empties. Davis the pitch. Breaking ball swung on, lined and caught by the pitcher, Davis. Soft liner. And there's 1 down. 1 down for Ryan Dunker. Yeah. Caught it around thigh high there. And it wasn't scorched. Dunker 0 for 3 in Game 1. All these games are still valuable, even though this is not the league game for Brush. You still want to win this one. Just to improve your RPI. The pitch swung on and lifted towards right field. And going back a few steps and making the catch is Johnson. There's 2 down.
Fly ball caught by right field. Now to that, number 15, Garrett.
2 down for Ben Garrett. Garrett with his first at bat of the day. Did not play in Game 1.
2 boys, come on, keep it up.
Garrett's had a good year at the plate, hitting .333. The pitch, changeup, a strike at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. 1-0 Strasburg here in the top of the second inning. The offering, fastball is upstairs, and the count levels at 1-1. We'll get to ESPN Radio after this game, then Rockies and Marlins. Marlins on deck at 4:30, first pitch. Rockies on deck at 4:30, first pitch at 5:10 from Miami. The pitch, curveball is a strike, belt high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ben Garrett, the sophomore, awaits the offering. Swung on, line towards left field, and to his left, and not able to make the play is Jonathan Hart. Garrett around first into second. It's a 2-out line drive double for Ben Garrett. On what looked like a hanging breaking ball. And
Makes it the second. Now batting, number 5, Cole.
Josiah Henry. Will now run. Josiah's in there running for Garrett with 2 down. Colin Cole had a base hit in the opening game. Throw back to second. Back in diving there is Henry, with the second baseman Elpers covering. Colin Cole awaiting the first pitch to him. And here it is. And that's in the dirt, skips away from Walters. That's one of the few ones that he hasn't blocked. The wild pitch will send Henry to third. 1 ball and no strikes. As I mentioned, this Strasburg team defeated Platte Valley handily 14-2. Very impressive win over a Platte Valley team that was in the top 10 of the RPI fairly recently. The pitch, that bounces in. That one's blocked by Walters, though. 2 balls and no strikes. Might have tried to unleash that changeup. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 down, a man at third. 1-0 Strasburg in the top of the second inning in Strasburg. The pitch upstairs, 3-0. And Justin Griffith is waiting on deck. Cole more than likely will be taking here. And he does. It's a strike. Throw back to third. Henry back in diving. He's safe. When you're shopping for new appliances, shop the best appliance store in Fort Morgan, the very best. B&B Appliance with a full and complete line of Whirlpool appliances to help you find your perfect fit at B&B Appliance in downtown Fort Morgan. And now they're going to call interference on Cole. Apparently, interference was called on Cole. So out at third base is going to be Henry. Cole said he was inside the batter's box. Boy, and Kevin Fergus is not happy. Kevin Fergus is not happy. Well, that's the end of the inning. The Bead Diggers do not strand anybody. Let's go to the bottom of the second. Strasburg 1, Brush nothing in game 2 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. All right, let's head to the bottom of the second inning in Strasburg. The Indians lead 1-0. Yeah, Kevin Fergus, I thought was going to be thrown out of the game. And not rightly so, but he was right to argue that. An interference was called on Cole, who looked like he was inside the batter's box as the throw was being made by the catcher Walters to third to try to get Henry. So I didn't understand that at all. Yeah, it was really not a good call at all. In fact, it was an awful call. And I'm not saying that because that went against Brush. I might have said the same thing. I mean, we're right on top of the action here. And he was definitely inside that box. Anyway, nonetheless, that doesn't matter at this point. We move on to the bottom of the second inning. And Strasburg is in the lead in game 2 on what's become a windy game 2, 1-0. And the pitch, swing and a miss on a changeup for the right-hander Garrett. No balls and 1 strike to Andrew Devlin. Garrett struggled in the first inning, throwing 23 pitches, about a 50-50 ratio. That's popped up into shallow left center field. That's going to be trouble, and that's going to drop for a base hit right in front of Justin Griffith and Jade Queen. Weiland lost track of that ball with the wind blowing, and that's the second Texas leaguer Strasburg has in this game. Again, hitting those change-ups off the end of the bat, but enough mustard to get the ball out there. Ashton Hounshaw had a big 2-run double in game 1. In fact, he had 2 doubles in the game. So for the second straight inning, the leadoff man is on for the Indians. The stretch by Ben Garrett and the offering swung on and fouled straight back. No balls and 1 strike. The Bead Diggers won the opening game 7-5. Serving Northeast Colorado and in Fort Morgan and Sterling, Transwest Chevrolet Buick, a great selection of new and used vehicles. Stop by and take a test drive. The pitch in the dirt, blocked by Cole. And that levels the count at 1-1. And, of course, from breakfast and snacks to perfectly brewed coffee and teas, Willow Coffee and Bake Shop, where they've got great gift items. 921 Edison Street in Brush. Willow Coffee and Bake Shop. That's a strike with a changeup down the middle, just above the knees.
Come on, kids, you got this.
And the count moves to 1-2 to Ashton Hounshaw. With a man at first and nobody down to the bottom of the second inning. Off of first is Devlin. That's actually the courtesy runner over there. And the pitch up and away. No, that is Devlin. Check that. It is Devlin. 2-2. I thought I saw a different uniform number, but 2 balls and 2 strikes. About a step lead. And Garrett delivers. Breaking ball is popped up on the right side. The first baseman, Dunker, along the line is going to drop the ball. He'll step on the bag, and now they've got a run down there for Devlin. He's got it, and for some reason the tag wasn't made.
He's safe.
Did Dunker step on the bag? I thought Dunker stepped on the bag, but that... Did Dunker not step on the bag? I thought Dunker stepped on the bag. Boy, this is confusing. It looked like Dunker stepped on the bag, which would make it a tag play at second, but instead they're calling the force out at second, a 3-6. Well, did they change the rules of baseball? I don't know. The umpires look confused. No error because they got an out. There's one down. And the pitch is a strike on the inside corner to John Walters. Walters in game 1 was 1 for 3. They could have had an easy double play there. You step on the bag and throw to second and tag out the runner. Swing and a miss. On a changeup away, it's 0-2, so that was still a miscue by Brush. If you drop a ball, just step on the bag, and then you've got the man between first and second in a run down at the very least, and more than likely that would have been 2 down. The pitch swung on and popped up in a shallow center field. Justin Griffith is right there. He makes the catch, and off of second was Hounshell. They'll throw to first. Dunker makes the catch and tags out the runner coming back. A base running miscue by Hounshell. It turns into a double play. He must have thought there were 2 down. And that ends the inning as we head to the third. It's Strasburg 1, Brush nothing. We've had a very strange start to this game. This is 1010 KSLR and KSLR.com. It'll be Colin Cole, Justin Griffith, and Carson Rule for the Bee Diggers here in the third against Mitchell Davis. 1-0 Strasburg. And for some reason now we got a delay to begin this inning. I don't know what's happening in this game. We've had a batter's interference call that looked like it was odd.
Number 5.
A potentially botched double play. And then we had a base running miscue to end that inning. Colin Cole was at the plate when Henry was called out at third because of the interference. The pitch swung on and lined towards right field. Brady Johnson is right there. He'll make the catch. And there's 1 down.
That ball to right field is caught. Now it's bat number 2, Griffith.
And of course having the PA show up for the second inning of game 2. That's the other oddity here. Anyway, here's Justin Griffith, who lined out his first time up 1-0 Strasburg. In the third inning, the Bee Diggers won game 1 7-5. Batting for the left side. Here's the stretch and the offering, and that's taken for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. To Justin Griffith is 0 for 1. That's a strike with a changeup. No balls and 2 strikes. Boy, Davis has looked pretty good here. Davis has allowed 2 hits through 2 1/3. And the pitch. And he checks swing with a fastball. That is high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. With 1 out and the bases empty in the top of the third. The stretch, and Griffith awaits the pitch. Here it is. Swung on and lined towards left field, and that's going to be caught by Jonathan Hart. Again, the Bee Diggers have hit some balls hard, but they've hit it right at the fielders, and there's 2 down.
Number 24,
Here is Carson Rule, who walked in the first. With 2 down and the bases empty in the third. The pitch swung on and popped down the right field line. Johnson along the line, a long run, and it's going to be foul. No balls and 1 strike. Here to Carson Rule. With Caleb Cox on deck. The stretch. And Mitchell Davis delivers. Changeup is low. Levels the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Looking to find insurance for your car, home, or even for you? Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. Home, car, health, or life insurance questions. And Brush in Fort Morgan bounces that one to Walters. Ball 2, strike 1. Here to the beat digger, junior right fielder, Carson Rule. The stretch by Davis and the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and grounded up the middle, and that is off the glove of the shortstop, Spence, for a base hit. And here comes Caleb Cox, who's been red hot. He had a home run in game 1 and then singled, but was stranded in the first inning in game 2. Rule off of first with about a 2-step advantage. The stretch, pitch, and adds the strike on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. The Bee Diggers again going for the sweep after winning game 1 7-5 as the home team in that game. Now that the visiting team throw back to first, back and diving is Rule. And this outfield for Strasburg has been solid in game 2. Lots of hard hit balls, but they've flagged them down. And the pitch swung on, drilled into right field. That is a base hit once again for Caleb Cox, who ran through the bag because there might have been a potential play at first. That's how hard he hit the ball. But Caleb Cox is now 2 for 2. That'll send up. Well, here's Isaac De Herrera. Now batting in the 4-hole. So De Herrera now steps in. With 2 down and 2 on. Yeah, it's a change to the scorecard. All right, so this rally began with 2 down. Carson Rule with a base hit and Caleb Cox with 1 as well. Strasburg clinging to a 1-0 lead. Walters lays down the sign. Here's the stretch. And the offering. And the breaking ball. Blocked again by Walters. How many balls has he blocked? I'm guessing at least 25. I mean, he hit a lot of balls in 2 games. And it's hard being a catcher, especially when you're catching a doubleheader. 1 ball and no strikes. And the pitch. Swung on and fisted towards second. That's going to be a tough play, but gloved nicely in the throw to first in time. Thomas Elper has made a tough play out there, and the Bee Diggers do not score in the 3rd inning. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. Let's head to the bottom of the 3rd. It is Strasburg 1, Brush nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Ben Garrett begins the bottom of the 3rd. Facing Mitchell Davis, Daniel Alvarado, and Blake Swanson, the 1, 2, and 3 hitters. Strasburg leads 1-0 on a Bee Digger error. Isaac De Herrera is now the 3rd baseman for Brush. And that's a strike. Off-speed pitch on the outer half. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. And Garrett delivers. Swing and a miss on a changeup. Pull the string. It's 0-2. Just past the top of the hour, this is 1010 KSIR, Brush, Fort Morgan, Weldona, as well as KSIR.com. Swung on and chopped right back to Ben Garrett, and he will toss it to first for the out.
And this is one. Now it's back number 44, Daniel Alvarado.
One down in the bottom of the third inning. Alvarado popped up his first time out. It's outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the wind by Garrett and the pitch. Swung on and driven in the air to right field. Back going is Carson Rule, still going back, and it's over his glove right up against the fence. He's going to throw that back in, try to get Alvarado at second, but it's a 1-out double.
Defense to right, Alvarado safe for 2. Now it's bat number 2, Blake Swanson.
So here's Blake Swanson. Swanson singled in his first at bat. So Swanson officially at 1 for 1. Looking back at second, the offering, and he bounces that to the screen. It ricochets right back to Cole, but that's a wild pitch. And it looked like Garrett totally lost control of that pitch. 1 ball and no strikes, so another run is waiting for the Indians at third base. The Bay Diggers will play the infield back, so they'll concede a run for the out. 1-0 here to Blake Swanson. Garrett out of the windup. That will give the man at third, Alvarado, a bigger lead. The pitch. That's a strike with a changeup down the middle, thigh high. And the count is level at 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. And the offering. Swing and a miss on a ball in the dirt. Threw him another changeup. Ball 1, strike 2. 1-2 here to Swanson with 1 down and 1 on in the third. And Garrett delivers, and that's breaking ball is low. He almost had Swanson going. It's 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch, and he bounces that one in. Again, Cole with a nice job of blocking the baseball. 3-2 to Blake Swanson. And the pitch swung on and grounded left side. That's going to be a base hit, fielded by Weldon in the hole, but he's got no shot at first. And it's 2-0. Strasburg on the infield single by Swanson as Alvarado scores.
Now to bat number 6, Carson Spence.
Carson Spence reached on an error. Here's a stretch. And the offering up and away with a changeup, 1 ball and no strikes. Both teams have 4 hits in the game, but Strasburg has a 2-0 advantage in the bottom of the third. And Garrett comes home. Swung on and grounded left side. Weldon in the hole. Has it go right underneath his glove and off his glove into left field. Third error by the Bee Diggers. He just didn't get the glove down. That's a routine play, at least a second. Would have had to force it second. Here's Thomas Elpers. He reached on there. The Bee Diggers are playing pretty horrible defense right now. They've committed 3 errors in the game. Yeah, they've got to get it together defensively and help out their pitcher. The offering. That's up and away. 1 ball and no strikes.
Hey, stay back. Try to hit, kid. Here we go.
The stretch. And the pitch to Elpers. Inside. 2-0. The Bay Diggers rallied to beat Liberty Common on Tuesday. Didn't have to rally at all. They had the lead throughout. And won 7-5 over Strasburg earlier today.
Let's go 2-3, huh? Find it.
But now they're in trouble. Down 2-0, 2 on, 1 out. Pitch to Elpers. Swung on. That is popped up into foul territory down the left side. De Herrera giving chase, and it's out of play. And it is 2-1.
Okay, Travis.
Straighten it out.
2 balls and 1 strike.
There you go, Thomas.
Swanson off of second. Spence off of first. The Bay Diggers looking for a twin killing. The pitch outside. It's 3-1. Three balls and 1 strike. Garrett delivers. Swung on, line towards left field, coming on and making the catch is Queen. Back to second, the throw. It skips by, but backed up by Ryan Dunker. So no double play, that is, but off a bullet hit by Elpers. There's 2 down. That might have been the hardest hit ball in this game, and yet it's an out. Brady Johnson popped out to the shortstop. Wellen, his first at bat. And Garrett delivers. Swung on, line towards right field. That's a base hit. Carson Roll will field that on the second hop. And runner around third to the plate. Swanson around third. And no throw to be made towards the plate. Well, I thought there'd be a play. Advancing to third is Carson Spence. It's an RBI single by Johnson. It's 3-0. I thought that'd be an easy play at the plate, but Bee Diggers didn't make it. That surprised me. That ball was hit very hard, and Rule had all the momentum. Here's Andrew Devlin, 1 for 1. The stretch. Step off there. And the wind right now is at an all-time high today. And the offering runner going is upstairs. Cole will throw back to the pitcher. One ball and no strikes with 2 on, 2 across, and 2 down. In inning number 3, 3-0 Strasburg. Ben Garrett out of the windup here to Devlin, who is 1 for 1. And the pitch swung on and chopped to third. De Herrera's got it on a big hop. Throws to first high, and the tag was made by Dunker. But again, well, the Bee Diggers struggling defensively. That was a routine play. That was anything but routine.
Score is 3-0 Indians.
And the inning is over. Brush did not play well defensively in that, and they haven't played well this game defensively. 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and 2 men left. As we head to the 4th in Game 2, Strasburg 3, Brush nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. All right, we move to the 4th inning. Strasburg 3, Brush nothing in the second game of a twin bill. Bee Diggers have to get to work against right-hander Mitchell Davis. They do have 4 hits, so the offense has been pretty good. But the defense has committed 3 errors. So Ben Garrett, although he's gotten hit around a little bit, is certainly not totally at fault for these 3 runs being scored. Jade Queen struck out his first time up. Now steps in for the Bee Diggers. And the pitch swung on and popped into deep left center field. That's got major carry to it towards the track, and that one is a home run! It's a home run for Jade Queen over the left center field fence as the junior goes deep to lead off the 4th inning, and the Bee Diggers are on the board. It's Strasburg 3, Brush 1. A tater for Jade Queen. Well, that might initiate a rally. It's already initiated something, a run on the board. And Nick Wellen, who lined to the pitcher, will now bat for the Bee Diggers. Out of the stretch is Davis with the bases empty in the offering. Curveball is way outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Follow us on Twitter at KSIR Sports or the 1010 KSIR Sports Facebook page. Pitch to Wellen. Swung on. That's popped up in the infield. The third baseman, Alvarado, in fair territory, makes the catch for the out. One down for Ryan Dunker.
Now it's bat of 23, Dunker.
Dunker popped up to right his first time up. The offering swung on. That is popped up but foul and out of play. And it's 0-1. Strasburg with a run in the third, and actually 1 in the first and 2 in the third. The Bee Diggers just scored here on a Jade Queen home run. Both teams have 5 hits in the game, but the Indians have played flawless defensively. No balls and 1 strike to Dunker. And the pitch. That's a strike. On the outer half with a changeup at the knees, it's 0-2. Mitchell Davis gets the sign here from John Walters. And the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and chopped left side, and that is going to be a base hit. Dunker's going to beat that outfielded by the shortstop Spence, but once it got that deep in the hole, as the ball got away, and they say Dunker, did he round first? Is he going to be awarded second? I don't know what's happening there. Dunker's standing on first. I think he's going to be awarded second. Yeah, I think he's going to be awarded second. I don't know if the ball got away. Well, obviously it got away, but we're blocked off, so that'll be an error. It'll be a single and an error on the shortstop Spence. So the Bee Diggers have a man on that miscue. And here's Ben Garrett. Garrett laced a double to left. Dunker with a 2-step lead at second. The offering inside with the off speed. 1 ball and no strikes. Haven't had too many strikeouts today in either game. A lot of these pitchers do a good job of pitching to contact. Haven't had that many walks either. That lends itself to some quality baseball. The pitch inside again. 2 balls and no strikes to Garrett. 3-1 Strasburg in game 2 in the top of the 4th inning. Brush won the opening game 7-5. Mitchell Davis, the right-hander, with a 2-0 to Garrett, and he takes it for a ball just below the knees. That was close. Threw him a change. Walters looked like he was motioning for a strike there. 3 balls and no strikes. And Garrett awaits the 3-0. That's a strike. Again, the off-speed thrown by Davis. 3-1. First game went nearly an hour and 50 minutes. This game on pace to do about the same. Three balls, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on, 1 in. Davis looks back, and the pitch. That's a strike on the inner half. Thigh high, it's 3-2. 3-2 to Ben Garrett. Bee Diggers close out the regular season a week from today at home against Valley at 11 o'clock in Brush. Garrett awaits the pitch. He swings and pops it into shallow left field. The shortstop is out, and Carson Spence makes the grab for the out.
Carson!
2 down for Colin Cole, who lined to right. So at 2 down. The pitch to Cole. High. It is 1-0. 1 run on 6 hits for Brush. 3 runs on 5 hits for Strasburg. Both teams are stranded 4. Bead Diggers with 3 errors in the game, and the Indians with 1. And the throw back to second, but in standing is Dunker, with a second baseman Helpers covering. It'll be a 1-0 pitch coming up to Colin Cole in the top of the 4th inning. And the throw back to second. He threw it to Helpers. It was about 15 feet off the bag, but I think they just want to keep Dunker close.
Okay, Mitch, let's get this batter.
There are 2 outs in this top of the 4th inning. And Cole awaits, and he swings and grounds it to second. Helpers to his right, backhands it, throws off balance to first, and that is dropped over there at first. Oh, they're going to call him out. I don't know if he had control of the ball, but they're saying that Swanson did. Wow, I don't think he had control of the ball, but he's going to be called out. And again, this is one of the strangest games I've seen. I'm not sure he had control of the ball, but he is called out at first. And the inning is over. The Bead Diggers get a Jade Queen home run. This is a very odd 3.5 innings. The score, Strasburg 3, Brush 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. All right, let's head to the bottom of the 4th inning, where the Bead Diggers trail the Strasburg Indians 3-1. We'll let the music take over for a little bit here. Ashton Hounsell will be the opening hitter.
Number 8, Ashton Hounsell.
Yeah, it didn't look like Blake Swanson had control of that ball at first, and maybe for a split second, but it requires normally stepping off the bag or something. Wind and pitch. Fastball is high from Garrett to Hounsell, grounded into a fielder's choice his first time up. Actually, that was that fly ball that was dropped by Dunker. But then it was a fielder's choice. Swing and a miss on a changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Indians with a 3-1 lead in the bottom of the 4th inning. And the offering swung on and grounded to short. Nick Wellen has it on the second hop. Sets, throws, lows to first, and dug out by Dunker. That's a great dig out there by Ryan Dunker on a pretty poor throw there by Wellen. There's 1 down.
Number 1, John Walters.
Yeah, Wellen not happy with himself. He pounded the glove there. Dunker just saved him. And there's John Walters. Walters hit a fly ball to center in his first at bat. Here's the wind in the pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back. It's 0-1. Yeah, we apologize for any of the interference the wind is having here with the broadcast. We're doing everything we can to block it away from the microphone, but it gets pretty heavy at times. 1 out, the base is empty, and the offering. That's a strike on the outside corner, thigh high, and it's 0-2 to the Strasburg catcher. No balls and 2 strikes. Wind by Garrett to the pitch. Swung on and tapped slowly on the ground up the first base side. Garrett's got it underhands to first. There's 2 down as Walters is retired. Mitchell Davis has walked and grounded out. He is 0 for 1. Here's the wind and the pitch. Down and away. Well, nothing odd so far has happened in this half inning. We've had 2 conventional outs. We've got 4 or 5 different examples of just strange happenings in this game. And the 1-0 swung on and hit off the end of the bat foul up the right side. Count level at 1 ball and 1 strike. 3-1 Strasburg in the 4th inning. Ben Garrett gets a sign. Ben Garrett looks in. And he kicks and fires. Swung on. That has popped up in a shallow left center field. Well in the shortstop going out. Here comes Queen. And Queen reaches out and makes the catch on a knee. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Ben Garrett as we head to the top of the 5th inning in Game 2. It is Strasburg 3 and the Beat Diggers 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. All right, let's head to the 5th inning. The Beat Diggers trail the Strasburg Indians 3-1. Rush won Game 1 7-5. It'll be the top of the order: Justin Griffith, Carson Rule, and Caleb Cox. Against right-hander Mitchell Davis.
Now batting for the Beat Diggers, number 2, Griffith.
Justin Griffith is lined to left and lined to left. He's 0 for 2. Yeah, I'm surprised that if they know that Devlin should not be playing shaded towards right center. He should be towards left. Wind and pitch, squaring to bunt, but he takes it for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Yeah, there's a huge gap in left center, which surprises me defensively. Now Devlin's moving over there. Swung on and popped foul and out of play. Count is at 0-2. 3-1 Strasburg in the 5th inning. The Beat Diggers are out hitting Strasburg 6-5, but they've also committed 3 errors to Strasburg's 1. The stretch and the pitch, and the breaking ball is lined into right center field. That's a base hit. Griffith with a hard turn at first, and the Beat Diggers now have 7 hits in the game. And Carson Rule will now bat.
That's bat for Rule.
Carson Rule has walked and singled. Here's the stretch by Mitchell Davis. Got a 2-step lead for Griffith in the pitch. Squaring to bunt, and he pops it foul up the third base side. No balls and 1 strike. With Caleb Cox on deck, the Beat Diggers are trying to play some small ball here, just to advance the runner. No balls and 1 strike to Carson Rule. Throw back to first, but Griffith right back in. He's pretty close to the bag anyway. All right, Griffith off of first. And the offering. And that ball nearly hit him on the breaking ball. Rule had to back out of the way. Count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. Nobody out here in the 5th inning. The pitch. Fastball is high. Throw back to first. And that one's headed down the right field line. Griffith the second. It was airmailed there by Walters. It'll be an error on the Strasburg catcher. And the Beat Diggers now have a man in scoring position. Second error of the game by the Indians. And now Brush with the heart of the order coming up. They've got a big opportunity to maybe even take the lead in this inning if they can generate a rally. 2 balls and 1 strike. The pitch swung on and fisted foul down the left side and out of play. Count is at 2-2. Brush led the entire first game after scoring a first-inning run and a sac fly by Caleb Cox. They trailed the entire second game. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the offering, swing and a miss on a changeup, and Rule strikes out. That is the third time Carson has struck out today, but he is 1 for 2 in this game. Caleb Cox has 2 base hits to go along with a home run in game 1. Here's the stretch. And the offering. Curveball is lined towards center field to his right. And overrunning the baseball is Devlin. That's all the way to the fence. Rounding third is Griffith. He will score. And Cox is into second with a double. An RBI double for Cox. He's now 3 for 3. And it's now 3-2 Strasburg.
August hit over center field.
Yeah, that was misread over there by Devlin. It was hit hard. But it had a little bit more trajectory and less topspin than he thought. And as a result, the ball just sailed over Devlin's head. Here is Isaac De Herrera, who is 0 for 1. The Bead Diggers to within 1. The pitch, changeup, is a strike at the knees. On the outer half, it's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. Time is called. And again, the Bead Diggers are really out hitting Strasburg now. The pitch, and it's low. Counted 1-1. Brush now has 8 hits in the game to 5 for Strasburg, but again, Strasburg does have the 1-run advantage in the top of the 5th inning. And the 1-1 pitch swung on, popped up, and out of play. Count moves to 1-2. To Isaac De Herrera. And time is called by De Herrera. Well, we'll do a 1-2 pitch right now. Here it is. Inside corner. Struck him out on a breaking ball. Second strikeout of the inning for Mitchell Davis. And there's 2 down here for Jade Queen.
Strikeout brings up number 10, Queen.
Queen struck out and homered. The stretch. And the offering. And he takes a changeup low. One ball and no strikes. To Jade Queen. And the offering. And he swings and lines it towards right center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Around third is Caleb Cox. And the ball is loose in the outfield. Cox will score. And Queen to second. He has tied the game. It'll be a single and an error. And the Bead Diggers now tie the game at 3. As Jade Queen delivers again.
Back in 21, Wool.
So it's a brand new ball game after Jade Queen's base hit. Yeah, that was bobbled out and right. But nonetheless, you give the RBI there. The stretch and the offering swung on and fouled to the screen by Nick Wellen. He's lined out and popped up. Wellen is 0 for 2. Brush trailed 3-0. But no more after that base hit. And the curveball's a strike. No balls and 2 strikes here on Nick Wellen. Runner at second, 2 across in the 5th inning. The stretch by Davis. Pitch to Wellen. Swung on and popped foul and out of play off to the right. Unofficially 78 pitches thrown by Davis. And again, it's a no ball, 2-strike count to Nick Wellen. Here's the stretch. And the pitch. Curveball is lifted towards shallow left center field. That will drop for a base hit. Jade Queen is around third. Throw towards the plate up the third base side. And he's safe. Back to first is Nick Wellen. It's an RBI single. And the Beat Diggers lead 4-3 in the top of the fifth inning with 3 across in the frame.
Scores a run. Not to bat, number 23, Dunker.
Here is Ryan Dunker. He's popped out and singled. And the Beat Diggers all of a sudden have 10 hits in the game. We'll have a visit to the hill. And Brush has done very well today, hitting the ball with 2 outs. They've had 2-out rallies, not only in this game, but in the first game as well. Davis will remain on the mound. But Brush, I believe, we'll see. We'll have an inning recap momentarily. I think they've got about 4 hits in the inning. We know they have 3 runs. So here's Dunker, who's officially 1 for 2. Here's the wind and the offering. Changeup is low. 1 ball and no strikes. The stretch by Davis. Throw back to first. Back in standing is Wellen. Yeah, these 2-out rallies can be killers for the defense. And the offering. Swung on. That is popped up extremely high down the left field line. Along the line, and the catch is going to be made. Oh, boy, a diving stab. Yes. Over there, nearly overrun by Hart, but he made a diving stab along the line. Wow. That turned out to be a heck of a play. And the Beat Diggers are finally retired in the 5th inning. 3 runs on 4 hits. 2 errors and a man left. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Brush 4. Strasburg 3 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Let's head to the bottom of the 5th inning where the Beat Diggers lead the game 4-3. And now Ben Garrett will be facing Daniel Alvarado, Blake Swanson, and Carson Spence. Well, the Beat Diggers have turned this into hopefully not a back and forth game, because it was all Strasburg for a while. And all these games are pretty critical for Brush. Alvarado has popped up and doubled. He is 1 for 2. Here's the wind by Ben Garrett. The pitch up and away. That was pitch number 64 for Ben Garrett. In the bottom of the 5th inning, the offering bounces that one to the screen. 2-0. Well, Bryson Wooldridge closed out the last game, but if Garrett can get through this inning, we might have a Wooldridge sighting again. 2 balls and no strikes to Daniel Alvarado. Wind and pitch. He bounces that one in as well, 3-0. Strasburg has had leadoff base runners in the majority of the innings. 3 balls, no strikes. The Beat Diggers up by 1. And the pitch. That is a strike, belt high, with a changeup, 3-1. 3-1 here to Daniel Alvarado. And the offering swung on and grounded to first. And Dunker has to go right underneath his glove.
Alvarado saving first. That's bad. Number 2.
Oh, that's not good. All Ryan had to do there was get his knee down. Just get your knee down. Brush has committed 4 errors, and if they lose this game, they've got nobody but themselves to blame. 3 errors on the left side, and that one, I mean, a foot and a half away from the bag. And knowing Ryan, he's pretty mad at himself right now. Blake Swanson is 2 for 2. Throw back the first, and back in diving is Alvarado. This has been a very sloppy baseball game, very sloppy. 7 errors combined, 4 by Brush. The pitch, strike down the middle with a changeup.
Here we go, 2. Oh, you're right.
And it's 0-1. Boy, Blake Swanson, man, he's not happy with that pitch. Looked pretty good from here. He must have thought it was maybe, I don't know, a little bit high. I can't tell. That is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Swanson had a big-time double in the first game, also as the starting pitcher. He took the loss for the Indians in that game. The stretch and the offering. Upstairs, ball 2, strike 1. To the first baseman, Blake Swanson. On deck is Carson Spence. The offering. Swung on, that is popped foul and out of play.
Hey, you gotta go here, huh?
On a ball up in the zone, it's 2-2.
Go now, 2, huh?
2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, bottom of the 5th. Brush 4, Strasburg 3 in game 2. The Bay Diggers won the opening game 7-5. The offering, swung on, line to right field. Carson Rule is coming on, and he fields it on a hop. It's a base hit. Alvarado to second. And now the Indians have a rally cooking. Carson Spence has been on base twice because of Brush errors. So now the go-ahead run is at first for Strasburg. Garrett stretches, and the offering. Swung on, taps foul to the left of the plate. No balls and 1 strike. Right. Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Ehrlich, Toyota, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram will fit you into the car truck of your choice, serving all of Northeast Colorado. Ehrlich, Toyota, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. The stretch. And the pitch. Swung on and foul to the backstop on a hanging breaking ball. It's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes on Carson Spence. These teams have combined for 16 hits, but 7 miscues on the field. And the pitch. Swung on and grounded to third, and it's a wild hop towards De Herrera, and it's into left field. And rounding third is Alvarado. He will score. To second is Swanson.
Carson Tate scores a run.
That's a tough one. I think he just fielded it or tried to field it on a little bit of a rough hop. I think he got to back up on that one. Well, I'm going to score that an error. I think it turned into a wild hop because he tried to field it glove side up. And that was not a glove side up on that hop. So now it's deadlocked at 4. And again, the errors are just killing Brush. Yeah, remember, this is an all-clay infield, so you have to adjust. Isaac on that one probably either had to come in a step or back a step. But to play it as it was hit, and trust me, it's not easy. I played plenty of infield. That is not easy. But what happens is that the ball will eat you up every time. So that might be scored differently in the dugout, but I've scored it an error. Here's Thomas Elpers. He's reached on an error and lined to left. Still nobody out in the bottom of the 5th inning, tied at 4. The stretch. And the offering. And that bounces in, blocked beautifully by Cole. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, we've had 2 very competitive games. Alpers awaits the 1-0 pitch. Here it comes. He swings and hits it deep to left field. That one is way back, clean to the track, and that is a 3-run homer for Thomas Alpers. Alpers with a 3-run jack. And Strasburg now leads 7-4. And Ben Garrett will be replaced on the hill. We'll take a 90-second break. Back in 90 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Strasburg 7, the Beat Diggers 4 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Bryson Wooldridge is the new pitcher for the 2nd straight game in relief of the starter. Coming in for Ben Garrett. Ben did not do a bad job. Unfortunately, the Brush defense let him down big time. The Beat Diggers have committed 5 errors in the game. Closed the book on Garrett, 4+ innings, 7 runs, 3 earned, allowed 7 hits, 1 walk with no strikeouts. I mean, that's his game. He's going to pitch to contact. And eventually, if you allow extra hitters to come up, you will pay the price, and Thomas Alpers made Brush pay the price with a 3-run homer. Here is Brady Johnson. Strasburg only 6 outs away now in a 3-run lead. That's a strike. Wow. That's a letter-high fastball. It's 0-1. The stretch by Wooldridge with the bases empty. Swung on. That ball is fouled off to the right. Bryson did a real nice job in the opening game, and he's turned out to be the closer of this team. But again, the concern going forward with Brush is beating themselves. And I'm confident they're going to come back here and do something down 3, but they've got to get out of this first. Garrett is now at 3rd base, by the way, the offering. And the breaking balls are called. Strike 3 on the outer half, and there's 1 down. Boy, a tremendous pitch there by Bryson Wooldridge, and there's 1 down. First strikeout of the game by a Beat Digger pitcher. Andrew Devlin singled and grounded out. The stretch by Wooldridge, and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Out in front of that changeup, it's 0-1. Here's the stretch again, and the offering. Swung on and lined towards shallow right center field. That will drop for a base hit. Racing over is Carson Rule to pick up that baseball, and it's a 1-out hit for Andrew Devlin. Here's Ashton Hounshall. Grounded into a fielder's choice and then grounded out. Here's the stretch. And the offering. That's outside. Yeah, the inning began with an error, and there's been more of that in this inning. And you might say, well, you know, Alpers did hit a 3-run homer. You credit him for that, but you don't want to set up those situations. The pitch, swing, and a miss through the fastball right by him, belt high. The count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike to Ashton Hounshall. In the bottom of the 5th inning, Strasburg leads 7-4. The offering swung on and lifted on the right side into foul territory. Dunker giving chase. Dunker makes the catch. Nice job by Dunker as that ball was twisting back towards the line. And he caught it behind the coach's box. There's 2 down.
Now batting number 1, John Walters.
Walters has flied to center and hit a tapper to the pitcher Garrett, who's now at 3rd base. Bryson Wooldridge comes home, up and away with a fastball, 1 ball, no strikes. I love Wooldridge's mechanics. And he goes after hitters. Doesn't matter if he gets hit, he's going after hitters. Doesn't like to mess around. Short lead at first. The pitch, swing and a miss, and a pitch down and away to Walters. And the count levels at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 down, 1 on, 4 across for Strasburg in the 5th inning. The offering swung on. That is popped up into left field. Jade Queen. And now Nick Wellen going out, and Nick Wellen makes the catch. I don't know if Queen actually saw it or Wellen called him off early, but anyway, Wellen makes the play. 4 runs on 3 hits, 2 beat digger errors, and a man left. We go to the 6th inning, 5 complete. Strasburg 7, Brush 4 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. All right, the beat diggers have got to generate some offense now as they trail 7-4 in the top of the 6th inning. 8, 9, and 1. Ben Garrett, Colin Cole, and Justin Griffith. Mitchell Davis is still out there. He's thrown 81 pitches. Rush trailed 3-0, went up 4-3, but then Thomas Elpers has been the difference maker with a 3-run homer, breaking a 4-all tie. So here is Ben Garrett. Ben Garrett is 1 for 2. He doubled, and he popped a short. And the pitch. And he takes a strike with a changeup on the inner half at the knees. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. The pitch swung on and grounded to short. And the throw to first will be made right there as Carson Spence makes the play on the 4-hopper. 1 down in the 6th. 1 down for Cole. Colin Cole is lined to right and grounded to second. That was that play that Elpers made to his right. And I wasn't sure Swanson held on to the ball, but he was called out and Cole was retired. The pitch and the breaking ball bounces to the backstop. 1 ball and no strikes. Strasburg on their home field looking for a split of the doubleheader. The Bee Diggers were the designated home team for Game 1. And the pitch right down the middle for a strike just above the knees. It's 1-1. I'm not sure Davis is going to have enough pitches left to go the distance. He's at 85 right now. Still needs to record 5 outs. And the 1-1. Swing and a miss. He threw it right by Colin Cole. Challenged him with a heater. It's 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the offering. Fastball is high. 2-2 as Davis looked like he put some extra into that. He was falling off the mound a bit. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out and the base is empty in the 6th inning. Pitch to Cole. Swung on and popped foul and had a play off to the right. Bank of Colorado is a proud supporter of local sports and academics. There's only one Colorado and one bank dedicated to help you make the most of living in Colorado. They're not just a Bank of Colorado. But they're just not a bank in Colorado. They're the Bank of Colorado. Colin awaits the pitch. Curveball lined to the second baseman on 1 hop. Elpers throws to first for the out. That was hit hard, but Elpers was right there. And there's 2 down.
Now batting number 2, Griffith.
Justin Griffith has lined out twice, singled and scored. Justin is 1 for 3. Here's the stretch and the pitch. Swing and a miss. He was late on the fastball. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. And the offering. Fastball is upstairs and the count levels at 1-1. to Justin Griffith. And the pitch. He swings and fouls it off to the left and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. To left-handed hitting senior center fielder Justin Griffith. 7-4 Strasburg in the top of the 6th inning. Here is the stretch with the bases empty by Mitchell Davis. He gets the sign from Walters. And the 1-2. Swung on line to the center fielder base hit. Yep, in front of Devlin. The ball dropped right in front of Devlin. It's a 2-out base hit for Justin Griffith, and the Bee Diggers have had lots of 2-out rallies here. Brush now has 11 hits in the game. They have 3 more hits in Strasburg, but they've been outscored by 3. Carson Rule is 1 for 2. Walked, singled, and struck out. He swings and pops it foul off the right side. It's 0-1. Right behind the Strasburg dugout. No balls and 1 strike here to Carson Rule. If you can get him on, you have Caleb Cox on deck. He already homered in game 1. And the wind is blowing. Swung on and fouled straight back. It's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Griffith off of first. The sun has been out the whole game, but starting to disappear a little bit. The pitch. Breaking ball. Backhanded by Walters. Throw to first, and Griffith is out! Wow, they called him out. It looked like he got his hand on the backside. Kevin Fergus could not believe that. But the throw was made and the tag was applied, and Griffith is picked off of first base. And that ends the top of the 6th inning. 1 hit, no errors, and the bases were left empty. To the bottom of the 6th. It is Strasburg 7, Brush 4 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Strasburg 7, Brush 4 in game 2 after the Bee Diggers won the opening game 7-5. In that first game, Nick Wellen had 3 RBIs and Caleb Cox had a home run and a sac fly. As Ryan Dunker picked up the victory, Bryson Wooldridge came through with a save. Wooldridge out there in game 2 right now. Mitchell Davis, Daniel Alvarado, and Blake Swanson, 1, 2, and 3 for Strasburg. Davis is 0 for 2. And the pitch, swing and a miss and a changeup away. It's 0-1. Walked, grounded back to the mound, and popped to shallow left. Out of the stretch in the offering, outside. Levels the count at 1 ball at 1 strike. Here to Mitchell Davis. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string again. Out in front of the off-speed. 1-2. Wooldridge has a very aggressive delivery, which makes his changeup work that much better. The offering. Swing and a miss on a pitch up and away. And it's a strikeout of Mitchell Davis for the opening out at the bottom of the 6th inning. Daniel Alvarado doubled, but then he hit that ground ball that was misfielded 1 inning ago that began a 4-inning rally for Strasburg. Lefty against lefty. And the pitch. And the breaking ball is over but low. 1 ball and no strikes. For Bryson Wooldridge, that's his 2nd strikeout. And that one is up and in. 2 balls and no strikes. We'll have another quick post-game show coming up. We'll get you to ESPN Radio, and then Rockies on deck at 4:30 when they take on the Marlins. That will only be on the radio. We don't stream Rockies games. 2-0 pitch. That's a strike on the outer half, thigh high. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike to Daniel Alvarado. 7-4 Strasburg, 1 out, bases empty in the bottom of the 6th inning. The pitch, swung on and grounded foul up the first base side. And the count moves to 2-2. The Bee Diggers had a very brief 4-3 lead. And then Strasburg tied it at 4, and then Thomas Elpers hit a 3-run jack over the left field fence for a 7-4 advantage. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Laying down the sign is Cole. And the pitch swung on and fouled off the end of the bat to the backstop. Count stays at 2-2. And there's no doubt, not only is the wind picked up, but the temperature is now dropping. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And Cole has to tag out the batter. Second straight strikeout for Bryson Wooldridge. Third strikeout for Bryson. Blake Swanson is 3 for 3. So Swanson has been really tough against the Bee Diggers today. The pitch, low. Swanson has also driven in a run. 1 ball and no strikes. And the pitch, that's way outside on the fastball. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 to Blake Swanson. The Bee Diggers will have to rally to get a sweep of this twin bill. They're down 7-4. The pitch, low, 3-0. Carson Spence will hit next if Swanson can reach. 3 balls, no strikes, 2 out, bases empty. And Wooldridge delivers. Swung on and grounded off of Wooldridge to his left. Now he's going to barehanded. He'll throw to first for the out. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Bryson Wooldridge. Nice play off the mound by the junior left-hander. We head to the 7th inning. Last chance for the Bee Diggers in Game 2. It is Strasburg 7, Brush 4. You're listening to Brush Bee Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. All right. Okay, now we head to the 7th inning. The Bee Diggers need 3 runs to tie and 4 to take the lead. Mitchell Davis has thrown 96 pitches unofficially. You can go up to 110, or you can start a batter with less than 110 and then exceed that total. Carson Rule, Caleb Cox, and Ben Garrett, or check that. Well, Garrett went to third, but I think De Herrera then would still be up. Yep. Carson Rule is 1 for 2. Walked, singled, and struck out. Mitchell Davis attempting to go the distance here. He's allowed 11 hits, so the Bee Diggers have been able to hit him. But they trail 7-4. Mitchell Davis out of the stretch. And the pitch. And the breaking ball bounces to the backstop. Brush was down by 4 runs on Tuesday at Liberty Common and rallied with 6 in the 7th to win that game 12-10. Trying to do the same thing right here, down by 3 against Strasburg. And the pitch upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. Rule awaits the pitch. Here it is. That's a strike, letter high. Two and one here to Rule. And the offering swung on. That is popped up into shallow center field. Devlin is coming on. And that's going to land beyond the second baseman Elpers. It landed in no man's land. It's a base hit. Wow. That was a wind-aided hit. And now we're going to have the pitching change. That was pitch number 100 for Mitchell Davis. So we will have a pitching change here in the top half of the 7th inning. It's Strasburg 7, Brush 4. It's a 90-second break back in 90. on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. The new pitcher is Thomas Elpers off the 92nd, not the 90-minute break. If it was 90 minutes, we'd be 88 and a half early. 1 ball and no strikes. The bounces into Caleb Cox. The stretch and the offering, and that bounces in as well. It's 2-0. Carson Rule began the inning with a base hit. And Caleb Cox has singled twice and doubled. If he triples, he would hit for the cycle today because he homered in game 1. 2-0, the Beat Diggers trailing 7-4 in the 7th. And the pitch, and that one bounces in. 3-0, and that Beat Digger dugout is making some noise right now, sensing a rally in the 7th. 1 pitch away from placing the tying run at the plate. 3 balls and no strikes. And the pitch, and that one bounces in, and Elpers did not come close. In fact, he didn't get it to the plate in the air. And let's see what's going to happen here. Boy, he did not feel comfortable at all out there. Is that going to be his only batter? We'll find out. Yeah, I think that's going to be his only batter. Well, this time let's take a 60-second break. We'll have the 3rd pitcher of the inning. The Beat Diggers at first and second. Nobody out in the 7th, trailing 7-4. We're back in 1 minute on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. All right, Jonathan Hart is the new pitcher. Thomas Elpers threw 4 pitches, and they were all on the ground, so he's going to left field. And Bryson Wooldridge is now the hitter, first and second, with nobody out in the 7th. And the Beat Diggers trail 7-4, looking to generate a rally. Carson Rule singled. Caleb Cox walked, reaching base for the 4th time in the game. John Walters lays down the sign. And the pitch, and that's way outside with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes for the right-hander. Jade Queen is on deck, and he homered for Brush's first run. 1 ball and no strikes. Rule off of second, Cox off of first. Long pause, the pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back. Tried to tie him up with a fastball. It's 1-1. The Beat Diggers won last year 7-6 in 8 innings. Won the first game 7-5. And again, now trail 7-4. But the tying run is at the plate. In the junior, Bryson Wooldridge from the right side. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss and a fastball at the letters. And it's 1-2. Well, this guy brings some heat. It's a sidewinding fastball there by Hart. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Bryson Wooldridge has to shorten up that swing now. He's got that fluorescent green bat. Hart looks back, and the offering swung on. That ball is lifted into right center field. Andrew Devlin is coming in, and he will make the running catch for the out. And there's 1 down. 1 down, and here is Jade Queen. Who's got a shot here, but that wind's starting to blow in a bit. Let's see if Queen can deliver. Got a base hit his last time up. Got a huge bat. He's got 2 hits in the game. And the pitch. And that's in the dirt. It skips away, but the Beat Diggers don't see it. It got away a few feet, but it was not spotted by either base runner. And really, it's got to be the lead base runner to find it. Really doesn't matter right now because the tying runs at the plate, not on the bases. 1 ball and no strikes to Jade Queen. The stretch by Jonathan Hart. And the pitch. And up and in. Boy, nearly clipped him. It's 2-0. Wow. 2 balls and no strikes. 7-4 Strasburg, top of the 7th inning. 1 out, 2 on. Queen from the right side awaits the 2-0 pitch. And here it is. And he swings and drives it down the right side, and that is twisting foul. 2-1 to Queen. Boy, he's got a very aggressive swing. If he can straighten that out, who knows? The difference in the game right now is the 3-run homer by Thomas Elpers in the 5th inning. 2 balls and 1 strike. The stretch by Hart. And the offering. And the breaking ball is a strike. A beautiful pitch. Letter high, it's 2-2. Well, I can tell you this, nobody was looking for that pitch, including Queen. I never saw that coming. That's a tremendous pitch. Queen now has to adjust. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the offering. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball down and away. And Jade strikes out. There's 2 down. So 2 down after he was up in the count 2-0. And here is Nick Wellen. He certainly has power. He is 1 for 3, singled his last time up. Strasburg just 3 outs away, or 1 out away, I should say, the pitch. And the breaking ball is a strike. Man, John Hart's got a very nice breaking ball. Excellent breaking ball. No balls and 1 strike. Here to Nick Wellen. The stretch. And the offering. That is a strike, belt high. 2 outs. No balls and 2 strikes to Wellen. Runners at first and second, 2 down, and the Bead Diggers down by 3 in the 7th. And Hart delivers. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball. They got to throw him out, but Wellen is tagged out. And Jonathan Hart comes in and is able to strike out Jade Queen and Nick Wellen. And the Strasburg Indians win the game by a score of 7-4. Bead Digger post-game show is brought to you by Mr. D's Ace Farm and Home Center. That's Mr. D's Ace Farm and Home Center, your headquarters for your home farm and ranch supplies from plumbing to feed, with 3 locations to serve you. Mr. D's Ace Farm and Home Center. The Strasburg Indians split the doubleheader with the Brush Bead Diggers. They win the game 7-4, 7 runs, 8 hits, 3 errors, 5 left on base. For the Bead Diggers, 4 runs, 12 hits, 5 errors, 8 left on base. And the winning pitcher for Strasburg was Mitchell Davis. The loss went to Ben Garrett. Time of the game, 2 hours and 3 minutes. And it was Strasburg striking first as they grabbed a 1-0 lead on a fielding error by the Bead Diggers in the first inning. It was still 1-0 when they stretched that out to a 3-0 lead. Blake Swanson had an RBI single in the bottom of the 3rd, and Brady Johnson with a run-scoring single. The Bead Diggers came back. Jade Queen led off the 4th inning with a home run. It was an inning. It was the only inning in which the Bead Diggers produced runs. They also got an RBI double from Caleb Cox, who was on base 4 times in the game. Jade Queen had a run-scoring single, and then Nick Wellen with an RBI single to make it 4-3. But then the Bead Diggers made a couple of miscues. Strasburg was able to tie the game with a run in the bottom of the 5th inning, and then 3 more in the bottom of the 5th. And it was a 3-run homer by Thomas Elpers. So the Bead Diggers split the doubleheader today. They're now 6-10 with 3 games to go in the regular season, 3-3 in league play after they won the first game, which was a league game. They won that game 7-5. Bead Diggers are back in action coming up on Tuesday against Resurrection Christian. That game in Brush will start at 4 o'clock on 1010 KSIR as well as KSIR.com. Outstanding job by our sound engineer and producer, Emily Hernandez. I'm John Beltran. The final scores today in the opening game. Brush defeats Strasburg 7-5. Strasburg takes game 2, 7-4. All right here on your home of the Brush Bead Diggers, 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.